Okie dokie, everyone. I got a lot of eggs, and we're gonna water glass them. It's called, people call it that. So we need hydrated lime, which I have a bunch of in my garage here. So I keep it in a trash can. See, nice spot to keep your hydrated lime, right? Underneath a bunch of stuff. I bought a bunch of it at Home Depot about a couple years ago, and I just keep it sealed tightly, airtight in the container, and then I just end up putting stuff all over it. So it's in this bag that's taped shut and wrapped in a trash bag. So I'll get that out right now, and then we'll get to it. Alright, so I got a big bowl of hydrated lime. I taped it all back up, put it back in the bag, and let's put my weights back on top of stuff. Some way down the opening of it. Just way down the opening of our hydrated lime. Keep it nice and clean. I don't have like a container with a lid, so I wrap it up in a trash bag and tape it back shut. Alright, there we go. Let's go weigh it out now. So, hydrated lime, you can buy at the hardware store in the cement area. A big 50-pound bag. It'll last you a long time. You got to make sure to just keep it, clean and airtight. It's a mineral, so it doesn't go bad. Then we're gonna get my bucket. Alrighty, y'all, it's sunset right now, so it's nice and cool, so the lighting's a little off. Alright, guys, so we're going to fill this bucket up halfway, and we need to measure in quarts because it's 1 ounce of lime per quart of liquid. So my measuring cup does 2 quarts at a time. So I'm going to measure. My tea jugs are all taken, so I can't measure with that. And I'm on well water, so it's all clean. 6 quarts. 8 quarts. 10 quarts. I think 10 quarts is perfect because I have a lot of eggs we're going to put in here. So 10 quarts fills it about right here, halfway up. This is a pretty big bucket. So your buckets will probably be 5 gallons if you get it at the Home Depot store. We need to let's measure our ingredients now. All right, here's our lime. Here's a scale. So we have 10 quarts, so we need 10 ounces. It's usually roughly a tablespoon, 3 tablespoons per ounce. Let's see if I'm still right. There's my tablespoons. It's usually 3. Let's see if we're right. And then we'll put it in these measuring cups to see what's what. So we're going to tar out. Let's put it in. This one is, I'm so blind. This one's a 1/3 cup, okay? We're going to do a 1/3 cup. So tar this out here. Let's just let it like that. There we go. Okay. So it's Terra or tar, I'm not sure. Alright, so now let's go to ounces. There's ounces. Right there. There's ounces. So loose 1. 2. This is loose again. 2. I do like about a little heaping, you know. 3. So it says 1.09 ounces. And this is a third measuring cup. So you can, if you want, just do a third cup per ounce. Just, it's not quite full, but you can do more, just not less. It's perfectly safe to do a bit more. So you can just round it up to do the whole 1/3. And let's see. And that is, the whole 1/3 is 1.48 ounces. So if you wanted to do it that way, you can do it that way. And I think I'm just going to round it up to 1/3. So we got, that's 1. We need 10 of them. So let's measure again. 1, 2, 3. 3 rounded teaspoons is 1 point. Well, I moved it. It was 1.20 ounces. So 3 just heaping teaspoons. So, and that's a third cup. It's not quite full. Just, it would be 4 for a third. So we do 4 of them to make a third. And that's over the required amount. So that's 2. It's hard to, when they're attached to stuff. Let's measure it one more time. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is 1.2 ounces. So 3 tablespoons is all you need if you want to do 1 ounce per quart. And it's just shy. You see how it's just 1 tablespoon shy of a third cup. So go ahead and round it up to a third. It's perfectly fine. And the third will be 1.4 something. So that's 3. Now I don't want to lose track, so let's just do this. 1, 2, 3. 1.4 something. So we got 3, 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. It might be just enough. 9. I just need a little bit more out of my bucket to make 10. So I'll just get a little bit more real fast, get that 10 ounces for 10 quarts, and then we'll go put our eggs in. Alright Alrighty, so we're inside, and I'm gonna be keeping my lime bucket in my kitchen, and so this is where I keep a lot of my extra overflowing canned stuff and my eggs, and right here in this corner. But I'm gonna keep it right here just because I go on my, this is where I do my chores and collect my eggs, and I come around the corner, and here we are. I could just put it in here. So you're gonna want to, after you do your lime, you stir it really well. I stir it with my hand. It's not harmful. It just will dry your skin out pretty good. Pretty good. Stir it up because it's just gonna settle right back in there. But all right. Now, see, these are duck eggs I just collected, and then these are eggs I just collected, and then these are eggs I just collected. These are all today's eggs. Then these are all older eggs I'm gonna boil. And then these are all kind of like 3 days old eggs, and these are duck eggs. So I can only have so many pickled eggs, you know? So I'm gonna start putting them in hydrated lime. Water glassing, even though technically that's not the real water glass method. I think it was something else in the older days, but that's what we call it now. So let's get this going right here, and let me tell you about the eggs. So when you put the eggs in, you want to, my son, he still hasn't opened up his birthday presents because he just doesn't want to yet. So they're waiting for him. I think he's waiting for his Bubby and Sissy or until he has his squirt gun party, and then he'll open his presents. He's being funny. Anyways. So, here is the eggs. Now, let me just set it up this way. Okie dokie. So, I have all my eggs at my kitchen table here because I just collected them. And so, we have some dirty eggs that I will not be putting in there. You don't want to put these dirty eggs in, and this is just too dirty to wipe off because you want to keep the bloom on. There's something called a bloom that protects the eggs from spoilage, and so that's why I'm able to keep them out of the refrigerator and in baskets on my counters, because they have a bloom on it. But once you wash that bloom off, you have to put them in the fridge or use them right away if you're or as soon as possible. And then you want that bloom to be on there when you put them in the lime solution. So you don't want to wash that off. It just helps keep them sealed and preserved. So here's one that just is super clean, but it has one little dirty spot. Now I can just wipe that one right off. That one's fine. If I just do a little spot here, just clean it off a little bit. There, just cleaned off a little bit, and now that one's perfectly fine to put in there. Now you can also, as another alternative to water glassing, is you can oil them up with mineral oil, and that actually helps keep them too. So some people wash them and then put mineral oil on. I still say you want to don't wash the bloom off. Little spots you can mineral oil them up, and they'll help you keep them on your counter even longer without putting them in the refrigerator. I do both methods. Right now we're going to start our water glass for the winter, because these I've kept them in the hydrated lime solution many times. I've done it for 9 years now, and yeah, about 9 years. You know, you lose count after almost a decade. So and they last good for a year, even more. The first couple months you can fry them, and the yolks don't fall apart. So you can get a few that have good yolks intact for frying, and they taste pretty decent. But for the most part, you'll want to scramble them because you're not going to get a good yolky egg, you know, because the yolks like to mix in with the whites when you crack these ones. But I really don't taste a difference at all. It's just the consistency is not as firm, but they're as fresh as the day is old, right? Okay, so we have quite a bit, and I try to count and keep track of them. Normally I can keep up to 200 or so in a bucket. So we'll see how many we can fit in this one, because this is an even bigger bucket than I usually have. So let's just start putting them in, shall we? All right. So you just put them right in. And you want to keep your bucket in a place where you're not going to jostle it, because you're not going to move that bucket, because if you move the bucket around, you might crack an egg and it just ruins everything. I mean, you get a few, if a few crack, it's fine, but you want to just keep it in a spot where you're not going to be moving it around and jostling it, and where it's fine, where it's at, and because the eggs will break if you move the bucket around. So you just gently put them in, and the lime will settle in the water. It's not going to stay mixed in. It settles to the bottom. But I read some science on it a while ago, and they say it like takes turns rehydrating, doing its job, and then falling back down. I don't know. Look it up. But you just gently put them all in there, and so I'll get to it, and I'll tell you how many eggs I got in there so far. Okie dokie, so I decided just to put 20 in for now, and that way I'll use all these ones as older eggs and eat these ones. And then the ones I collect every day from now on, I'm just going to fill in there. So, until it's full. And then, I'm thinking I can get at least 200 in there. We'll see, and I'll tell y'all after that happens later on. I'll do an update on how many I was able to get in there. So, but yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. That way we have eggs when we need them, when the chickens aren't laying. But the ducks are usually, that's why I have the ducks, they're usually pretty good about laying all winter. It's just you gotta find them. You have to go on an Easter egg hunt for duck eggs when you want eggs. So, and find their nests, because they're really good at putting their nests in nice hiding spots, that's for sure. Alrighty, well, that's how you water glass eggs in your lime solution, and it'll keep them from going bad. Like, really, they keep them really good for a little over a year. I end up using them all up by then. So, but yeah, it'll, you know, I did an experiment, and I tried to make them go as far as I could. But it was just over a year, and then I ran out. So, but they were good over a year. So, all right, well, that's how you water glass your eggs, y'all. We'll just talk to you later. And don't forget to subscribe, people. All right, bye.